2 nights. 2 sold-out crowds. One message SB19 wanted Aten to hear louder than ever. Welcome back to StageWire, because this week we're taking you inside the weekend that turned a single fan meet into an entire California celebration nobody saw coming, and by the end, you'll understand exactly why it matters for where SB19 is headed next. It started with one date. SB19 announced their I Was There Thanksgiving Fan Meet, a global tribute series built to thank Aten for years of support, with its first U.S. stop set for August 8th at Graton Resort and Casino in Rohnert Park, California. Pre-sale opened in June, general tickets followed days later, and the response was immediate. The show sold out before most fans had time to plan their outfits. That's when SB19 and their team made the call that changed the whole weekend. Demand hadn't slowed down, so a second date was added for August 9th, same venue. Fans who missed the first wave finally had their shot, and that show sold out too. 2 consecutive nights, same California venue, both completely full. For a Filipino group still building its footprint in the United States, that's not a small detail. That's proof the audience is no longer just curious. It's committed. Day 1 set the tone. This wasn't a concert in the traditional sense, and that was the entire point. A Thanksgiving fan meet strips away the big stage production and replaces it with something closer to a conversation: games, stories, direct interaction between Pablo, Josh, Stell, Ken, and Justin, and the fans who followed them since long before international headlines started using their name. For many in that room, it was the closest they'd ever been to the group. The timing made it even more meaningful. SB19 walked into that first night fresh off one of the busiest stretches of their career. Just days earlier, on July 28th, they'd performed a global spin live session at the Grammy Museum in Los Angeles. 2 days after that, on July 30th, they became the first homegrown Filipino act to play Lollapalooza, debuting their new single Lawless live in Chicago's Rohnert Park. So when they stepped into Rohnert Park for night 1, they weren't arriving as an up-and-coming act hoping to be noticed. They were arriving as a group that had just made history twice in 1 week and choosing to spend the next one thanking the fans who got them there. Then came night 2, and it carried a different kind of energy. By August 9th, clips and photos from the first show were already circulating. Fans walking into the second night knew what had happened 24 hours earlier, which raised the obvious question: would round 2 feel like an echo, or would it stand on its own? Fan meets don't run on a script the way concerts do. The interactions shift, the reactions change, and no 2 nights ever play out the same way. Night 2 answered that question by delivering its own set of moments Aten won't be trading for anything, proof that the format itself is built to feel new every single time. Talk to anyone who went to both nights and you'll hear the same thing. The second show didn't feel like a repeat, it felt like a continuation. The jokes built on what happened the night before. The crowd already knew the rhythm of the games and leaned into them harder. And for the members, having a full second night to work with meant more room to loosen up, take a few more risks with the audience, and let moments breathe that a single night event never would have allowed. That's the version of bigger that matters here, not just more tickets sold, but a genuinely richer experience for the fans who got to be there twice. It's worth remembering how far that connection has traveled to get here. SB19 debuted in 2018 as one of the first groups to prove a Filipino act could build a K-pop-style idol career entirely on its own terms, without a Korean agency behind it. What followed was years of sold-out arena shows back home, a slow but steady climb onto international radars, and a fanbase in Aten that grew loyal enough to organize streaming pushes, ticket drives, and now, apparently, 2 sold-out nights on a different continent within 24 hours of each other. None of that happens by accident. It happens because the group kept showing up for the people who showed up for them first, and this fan meet was the clearest example yet of that relationship being returned in kind. Step back, and the bigger story becomes clear. This fan meet wasn't a standalone event. It's one stop in a deliberate international rollout. After wrapping their US dates, SB19 heads to Japan, where they're booked for Summer Sonic in Osaka on August 14th and Tokyo on August 15th, before closing the loop with a matching I Was There fan meet in Yokohama on August 18th. 2 continents, 1 campaign, 1 consistent message to fans everywhere. The group's global growth and its gratitude to Aten are being built side by side, not one at the expense of the other. That's really what separates I Was There from a typical tour stop. The title itself is doing quiet work. Years from now, fans in that Rohnert Park ballroom will be able to say they were there not at a random tour date, but at the specific weekend when SB19's US audience proved it could fill back-to-back nights on demand alone. That's the kind of memory a normal setlist doesn't create. It's built into the format on purpose. And the significance goes beyond nostalgia. A second sold-out night, added on short notice and still selling out, is a real signal about market strength. It tells promoters, festival bookers, and the industry watching SB19's rise that their US fanbase isn't a one-off spike tied to a single viral moment. It's consistent enough to support multiple dates in the same city within days of each other. For a group whose international breakthrough has largely been measured in headline festival slots and museum sessions, that kind of grassroots ticket demand is arguably just as important, maybe more, since it's the fans buying in twice, not just the algorithm. None of this happened in isolation either. SB19's 2026 has been a steady stack of firsts: the Grammy Museum appearance, the Lollapalooza debut, and now 2 sold-out nights in a market where, a few years ago, a single US tour stop would have been the milestone. Put next to each other, these moments trace a group whose growth isn't slowing down, it's compounding, city by city, festival by festival, fan meet by fan meet. There's also a wider lens worth pointing out here. SB19 has spent years being described as the group carrying P-pop's international ambitions on its back. And moments like this weekend are exactly why that label keeps sticking. Every sold-out night in a new market makes the next booking easier to justify, the next festival slot easier to pitch, and the next artist from the same scene easier to imagine following the same path. In that sense, this wasn't only a win for SB19 and Aten. It's a data point for an entire movement that's still trying to prove its staying power outside Southeast Asia, and 2 back-to-back sellouts in California is about as strong a data point as it gets. By the time the lights came up after night 2, there wasn't a competition between the 2 dates, and there didn't need to be. Day 1 had the surprise of a brand new experience. Day 2 had the confidence of a group that already knew the room would show up for them again. Both nights delivered on the only thing that actually mattered. Aten got to be in the room, and SB19 got to say thank you in person twice. So here's where we turn it over to you. If you were in that Graton Resort ballroom on either night, we want to know which one hit harder for you, day 1 or day 2. Drop it in the comments, because the I Was There story isn't finished. Japan is next, and if the US leg is any indication, Yokohama is about to get its own unforgettable night. That's the story for now, but SB19's chapter is still being written in real time. If you don't want to miss a single update, the Japan leg, new music, fan reactions, and everything in between, make sure you're subscribed to StageWire with notifications turned on. We'll be right here covering it as it happens.